Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's our pleasure and honor to extend a very warm welcome to all of you as our distinguished guest to this evening at the embassy. Today, again, as yet another addition to Embassy's Performing India series of cultural events, it's our pleasure to present an evening of Rajasthani popular music by a group of very talented and seasoned singers and performers, popularly known as Barmer boys of Manganyar tradition of Rajasthan. In a short while, you will have a very extensive individual introductions of these three artists by Mr. Ankur Malhotra, who is co-founder and director of New Delhi and Wisconsin-based music recording company, Amras Records. Mr. Malhotra is also coordinating these musicians' current US tour. But before that, to know like what Manganyar tradition of Rajasthani music is and how these today's artists, Barmer boys, are connected to it, we will have a very enlightening and informative talk by Ms. Shalini Ayagiri. Just to give a very brief introduction of Ms. Shalini, she is assistant professor of music at American University, Washington, D.C. She is an ethnomusicologist who specializes in music of South Asia. Through her very extensive and prolonged researches, she draws a connection and between South Asian music and other music post-colonial studies like borderland studies and Bollywood music. She is currently also working on a book project which is socio-cultural history and musical ethnography of these Manganyar musicians. She has been working for them with last 13 years. So now I request Ms. Shalini for her talk. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm going to keep it rather short tonight because I think we're all here for the music and not to hear me talk. But I thought it might be helpful to just kind of introduce the community of musicians, the types of music that they perform, the customary context in which they perform in, and a little bit about the instruments, so you kind of have a context for what you're going to be seeing and hearing. So the Manganyar are a community of hereditary professional musicians. So the hereditary part means that these musicians learn from their fathers, from their grandfathers, from their uncles. It's a tradition that's passed down from father to son. And by father to son, I mean just men. This is a tradition that women don't perform in, customarily, at least contemporarily. Historically, women did perform for women, but within the past 50 years or so, women no longer perform. So it's a completely male tradition with a very few exceptions. They're professional musicians, so this is their job. We're talking about a community of probably about 20 to 30,000. Based in western Rajasthan on the India-Pakistan border in the Thar Desert. So the majority of the men from this community make music, and that's their profession, and that's what they do for a living. They're involved in a very intricate patronage system, so these musicians have been performing, the same families of musicians have been performing for the same families of patrons for centuries, so this is something that gets passed down from generation to generation. And the contexts that they perform in are generally life cycle ceremonies, so they perform at their patrons' weddings, birth ceremonies, festivals, religious ceremonies, that sort of thing, so mainly at good occasions. Happy, auspicious occasions is where these musicians perform. Their patrons are actually Hindu, typically. There are exceptions, but for the most part, their patrons are Hindu Rajputs, and the musicians are Muslim, mainly Sufi. So it's actually a beautiful situation. We have Muslim musicians performing for Hindu patrons, Muslim musicians performing in Hindu temples, and we'll see that really beautiful syncretism in the performance tonight. The musicians will be performing both Hindu repertoire that they would perform for their patrons, but also Sufi Muslim repertoire as well. In terms of thinking about these musicians contemporarily, a lot has changed in the past 50 to 60 years with this community. They live right on the India-Pakistan border. After partition, they were cut off So a lot of, especially the instrument makers who ended up in Pakistan, these musicians haven't had access to a lot of the traditional instruments that they once played. One of those instruments is the kamaicha, which is a stringed bowed lute, which is completely unique to this community. Very few musicians play this instrument today, mainly the elder musicians do. And the harmonium, which you see here in the middle now, has replaced the kamaicha in a lot of circumstances. Thinking about the types of music that these musicians perform, there are kind of three different genres of music. The first are called chota geet, and that literally translates as small songs. And these are the songs that they perform at weddings and at birth ceremonies. And oftentimes, these songs are sung to fit the occasion. So at a wedding, they'll be singing about the beauty of the bride, or they'll be singing about the actual guests who are coming in and the gifts that they're bringing. Or at a birth ceremony, they'll be singing about the beauty of the baby boy and how he looks like Lord Krishna. That's that type of song. So it's mainly background music. The second type of song that they sing is a genre called mota geet, which literally translates as big songs. And these are songs that are sung from a more kind of connoisseur listening audience. If you think about the context for Hindustani classical music, where you have an audience and performers, that's what these sessions are, and they're actually called kacheri sessions, where the musicians are kind of performing these deep ragas, performances that can go on for hours at a time. So that's kind of the second genre, and we'll be hearing a little bit of both of those. And then the third genre tends to be folk tales that everybody knows in this region. And oftentimes the musicians will just choose a very kind of small portion of the folk tales to sing. And the second song, and maybe Ankur will actually talk about this, is a folk tale called Mumul Mehendra, which some of you might be familiar with. And oftentimes the musicians will just choose a very small portion of the folktale to sing about. For example, Mumul is a princess from Jaisalmer, so they'll sing about her beauty, or singing about even just the smell of the desert sand and that sort of thing. So that's kind of the third genre. In terms of the instrumentation, what you're going to be seeing tonight, there tend to be kind of three roles, and this is pretty much across the board in most music in South Asia, and it's similar to Hindustani classical music as well. So you have the melody, the rhythm, and the drone. And for the melody instruments with the manganiyar, that often takes the form of vocals, and that's what we'll have tonight, but oftentimes it could be either the sarangi or the kamaicha or other kind of bowed instruments. So the vocals will be accompanied by the harmonium. The second category that I mentioned, the rhythm, the main instrument that provides the rhythm is the dholak, which we see here. It's a double-headed cylindrical finger hand drum. So that provides the rhythm. And also another accompanying rhythmic instrument is the kartal, which we'll also be hearing, which are wooden castanets. And in recent decades, with these musicians performing abroad quite a bit, they've kind of taken on a virtuosic life of their own, and you'll probably see that in the performance, a lot of interesting movements to go along with the instrument. And then the third role is the drone, and oftentimes in traditional performances, that's usually provided by the kamaicha, the stringed instrument, but we'll hear that a little bit with the harmonium and the accompanying. There'll be kind of a constant drone throughout as well, although it won't be as prominent as you hear in Hindustani classical music. And then very briefly, I just wanted to say something about kind of the cultural tourism context in which this music has kind of taken on a life of its own in a lot of ways. So beginning in the late 1960s, there was a folklorist by the name of Komal Kothari, who's based in Rajasthan, who's not from the Manganiyar community, but he was really kind of enamored by the Manganiyar music, and he started promoting these musicians, first in Rajasthan, in Jaipur, and then throughout other parts of India and Delhi, and then finally by the mid-1970s, he was taking them abroad to Paris, to London, to Sydney, to New York. So that kind of started the musicians traveling, and they started making their own contacts and connections on their own. And as a result of that, they started touring abroad quite a bit in the 1980s. Komal Kothari passed away in 2004, but these musicians have kind of been able to continue the touring on their own with the help of various organizations, Amaras Records, and other kind of initiatives to help the musicians touring. So I guess with that context, maybe I will leave it at that, and maybe I'll turn it over to Ankur to introduce the musicians specifically, the songs that they're going to be singing, and also speak a little bit about his work with them.
Thank you, Shalini. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and honor to be here and to present Barmer Boys. Ankur Malhotra, co-founder director of Amaras Records. We started the label in 2010, and it was started by four friends, longtime friends, passionate music lovers first and foremost. And we came at it from music, not from the ethnomusicology side of things, but more from passionate blues and folk roots music lovers. I'm a big blues fan from Southern Delta, Mississippi blues, and so forth. And for us as music lovers, and I've been based in Madison, Wisconsin, past decade plus, and involved a lot in music in the community and with world music festivals and so forth. One thing was kind of telling and noticeably missing from from all the festival circuit in the world and states was that while classical was well represented, Bollywood is well represented, there was a big gap with the folk music side of things. You didn't hear of folk musicians, and Shali mentioned there were a couple of touring groups. A bunch of these groups are based abroad, based in France and so forth, and so they established their own networks that ways. But by and large, the large majority of these musicians really didn't know. They've been performing for the patrons, the Yajman, in the villages, performing for Babji, King of Jodhpur, and so forth. But they were not known. We used to initially get calls for, can we get 4 Rajasthani musicians? And we'd be like, are you buying potatoes from the market? What's the point? But that was kind of a light going out and off in the head, in the sense of how musicians worldwide are known by their name, by the caliber of their musicianship, and therefore by their name. And that had been missing, and that became kind of important imperative for us to kind of go out there and kind of create platforms and take them to platforms where they could be recognized for their talent. And so that was Barmer Boys. December 2010 was when we first went into the field to start doing field recordings, because that was the other thing, which was like, these are folk musicians, they're kind of not familiar with technology, with studios, and it's a different environment for them. So how about we go into their environment and try and capture their sound and their music in their space to kind of capture the essence and soul of that music. And that was the first time we met Mange. And Shalini also mentioned the very few women who used to sing in this community. And at that particular time, December, we were in Ramsar village, about 40 kilometers from the Pakistan border, recording Rukma Bai, known as the Nightingale of the Manganiyars. She suffered from polio since age 2, didn't have her legs, but had performed the world over. She had been invited by the BBC in the 80s to perform. And so we were recording her, and she's singing, and she spots Mange walking down the street, shouts out to him, "Mange, get your harmonium and accompany me on some songs." So he does that, and we finish recording her, and we're about to pack up, my label partner Ashutosh and I, and Mange, his voice pipes up, he's like, "I also sing, may I?" We're like, "Of course," and he starts singing, and 10 seconds into it, my label partner and I will look at each other, monitoring the sound with goosebumps. And we're like, this is special. This is really special. And that was the first time we met Mange. And so that was the start. And as part of that was, this is a voice that needs to be heard. How do we take it out there? And that started the process of, well, it needs a band, it needs a group. And we'd come across Race prior to that. He was part of the Manganiyar Seduction. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that band. They performed at the Kennedy Center in 2010, I think, 2011. So Race was kind of, no-brainer for us. We were like, okay, he has to be part of this group because of the immense talent that he possesses. And then Magda on Dholak, we had met his father and his Chachaji, his uncle, during those December sessions, and we recorded them, and so became familiar with the family as well. So that was the start. So 2011, we formed the band, got them to perform at a couple of shows in Delhi and everything, and so also coined the term Barmer Boys, in the sense of it was very important to give them a sort of a name which resonates with audiences, which is easy to remember, because typically it's always been roots of Rajasthan, rhythms of Rajasthan, tunes. It was like potatoes, So how do we change that? So, and that was the start. And this, November 2011 was the first time they took stage as Barmer Boys at the Amaras Desert Music Festival, which was another platform we kind of created to showcase this great music from desert communities from India, from other parts of the world. We had Vyafar Kature from Mali come in and perform at that festival. Tumani Debate's youngest brother plays the kora. So again, folk instruments, traditional performers from different communities who had created a name for themselves and had taken the music to other parts of the world. So that was the first performance, 2011, and that was the start. So got them going, and then last year they were MTV Coke Studio Season 3 artists, and that opened the gates. So they've been performing across India, from Chennai to Dibrugarh and Guwahati, and of course Delhi, Rajasthan, Mumbai. And then this year, this is their first debut tour. First time Mange and Magda outside the country, so it's their debut tour. First time they're in the States. And they're on the way to a lot more places. June, they go to Borneo, to the Borneo World Music Festival. July, they play Roskilde in Denmark. Opening for, I might use the opening is loosely defined, opening for the Rolling Stones. So, yeah, we get on stage at 8 and then 10 o'clock it's the Stones, so yeah, what can we say? So that's the story of the band so far, and we've released the first album, the debut album, At Home. So we came out with a whole series of it's called At Home series, which features Sakar Khan, now sadly passed away last year, Padma Shri, Kamaicha Maestro performed with George Harrison, Yehudi Menuhin, Laka Khanji, whom we had on tour last year, his first ever US tour. So we've come out with a whole series of recordings. We've got 8 albums out on the label, including At Home Barmer Boys, which we'll have for sale, so please pick up a copy after the show. But meanwhile, I'm just going to go to the band, introduce them. So Mange Khan, lead vocalist, harmonium maestro. Rais Khan, percussionist extraordinaire. Magda on dholak. And as Charlie mentioned, we're going to do a repertoire of songs which range from Sufi kalams to celebratory songs to songs that are folk songs. These are all folk songs, by the way. Songs that talk about happenings in the community, or things about weather, birds, so forth. The first song is going to be called Pir Murshid, and it's a Sufi kalam, and it's a song which Barmer Boys always start off with because that's Mange's patron saint. So without much further ado, Pir Murshid for you, Barmer Boys.
पीर असांजो हयात ज़ारे मुरीदन दम हर साल हरे दम ओ मेड़ लगे ता हर साल हरे दम ओ मेड़ लगे ता अली डटो तेरे गाज दीदार पीर आसा दो हयात जारे मुरी तने जोरे बाबा पीर आसा दो हयात जारे
Thank you so much.
That was Pete Murshid for you, and that's on the Metabol album, our first set of field recordings. Next song is going to be Mumal, as Shali mentioned. It's a folk song. It's actually a tragic love story from folklore, Mumal and Mahindra, story of Mumal and Mahindra. The equivalent would be Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and of course, it's just a segment, so we don't discuss tragedy or sing about tragedy in the song. It sings about Mumal and her beauty. So here's Mumal.
प्रीत से प्रीत लगी प्रीत से प्रीत लगी पिया दूर दिशा मत जा बसो हमारी नगरी में बसो हमारी नगरी में हम मांगे तुम खा बड़ी बावली पत्थर पूजन जा घर की चकिया कोई नहीं पूजे जैसा पैसा भी खा शिसड़लो मल्लियो बाजड़ी मेरी नाल जा रे शिसड़लो मल्लियो बाजड़ी मेरी नाल जा रे घूमल हालो नहीं बोल जवान मुड़े दरे देश में मारा गान। पीपड़ी हेरी पान जम बैठण दो मल्लेरो बैठण दो मल्लेरो पीपड़ी हेरी पान जारे बाड़े की मोमल आलो नी बोले जवान मुड़ कर देश में मां।
Next number is called Manikar. And it's another traditional, well, they're all, as I mentioned, they're all folk songs. This one is a reference to a nobleman, and it's about a song about longing as well. So here's Manikar for you. मैं पीऊ ना करां पुकार
मछली तड़फे तुम रे हरा माणी करी रे वो अजनीरा हरा माणी करी रे वो अजनीरा ओ पूछा मैंने तेरी बात रे पूछा मैंने तेरी बात रे हरा माणी करी रे वो अजनीरा माणी करी रे वो अजनीरा माणी करे रे माणी करे रे ढोले ना मिला मेला बाबूड़े वाली तार दी मेला बाबूड़े वाली तार दी भरा मारी करे रे मारी करे रे
Thank you. Next track is called Raichand, and Raichand was a king from Umarkot, which is a city town in now Pakistan. So which kind of also dates some of these songs. A lot of these folk songs have come down, father to son in that kind of setting for several centuries. Some of them are centuries old. So this one's called Raichand, and it talks about this king from Umarkot who gets invited to come to the big darbar, to the big court in Delhi, to the king's court in Delhi. So here's Raichand for you.
शुंबल अपन बाढ़ाने रो देश पद्मणिया ना पीर बालो नहीं लो आए हमें सारी रात हूँ कलाटियो सारी रात हूँ कलाटियो पारस पीपल हेठ सडो का सडपण ए तापिया जी भोलो मारुवल पेट लाजे राते सकिना
Thank you. The next number is called Halka Halka Surur Hai. It's a ghazal, so it's a lighter version.
पास रहता है दूर रहता है पास रहता है दूर रहता है मेरे दिल में जरूर रहता है जब से देखा उनकी आंखों में हल्का हल्का शिरूर रहता है पास पास रहता है दूर रहता है मेरे दिल में जरूर रहता है जब से देखा उनकी आंखों में हल्का हल्का शिरूर रहता है जा भगवान बिजली की रोवानी दे जा भगवान बिजली की रोवानी दे सूखे होठ को पानी दे जिस वक्त बुढ़े हुए उनको फिर भी जवानी दे जो हल्का हल्का शरीर है हल्का हल्का शरीर है हो तेरी नजर का कसीर है हो तेरी नजर का कसीर है मुझे शराब पीना सिखा लिया मुझे शराब पीना सिखा लिया हल्का हल्का सिरूर है हल्का हल्का सिरूर है तेरी नजर का कसूर है तेरी नजर का कसूर मुझे शराब पीना सिखा लिया मुझे शराब पीना सिखा ली तेरे प्यार ने तेरे चार तेरे प्यार ने तेरे चार तेरी बेटी की गान दिल लगा हो मेरा दिल गया दिल गया दिल गया 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 दिल गया भी दिल गया दिल लगी से दिल गया है तुम भी हंसते हैं तुमको क्या मिल गया है मेरे बाद सताओगे मेरे बाद सताओगे आप तीर चलाओगे मेरे बाद सताओगे आप तीर चलाओगे ओ तेरी खुशी जो मेरी खुशी ओ तेरी खुशी जो मेरी खुशी ओ तेरा प्यार मेरा प्यार ओ तेरा प्यार मेरा प्यार देखी बेटी गाने तेरी देखी बेटी गान मुझे शराब पीना सिखा ले मुझे शराब पीना सिखा ले मेरे बातें सताओगी मेरे बातें सताओगी आप तीर चलाओगी मेरे बातें सताओगी आप तीर चलाओगी ओ तेरी खुशी जो मेरी खुशी ओ तेरी खुशी जो मेरी खुशी तेरे प्यार में तेरे जान तेरे प्यार में तेरे जान तेरी बेटी की लगान तेरी बेटी की लगान मुझे शराब पीना सिखा ले मुझे शराब पीना सिखा लिया हल्का हल्का सुरूर है हल्का हल्का सुरूर है तेरी नजर का कसूर है तेरी नजर का कसूर है मुझे शराब पीना सिखा लिया ओ शराब पीना सिखा ले तेरे प्यार में तेरे जान है तेरे प्यार में तेरे जान तेरी देखिए की निगान तेरी देखिए की निगान मुझे शराब पीना सिखा ले मुझे शराब पीना सिखा ले मुझे शराब पीना सिखा लिया मस्त शीशा मस्त जहाँ पिया जहाँ मस्त मस्त शीशा मस्त जहाँ पिया जहाँ मस्त मस्त शेर मस्त जहाँ घूमा जहाँ मस्त मस्त काली मस्त जहाँ देखा जहाँ मस्त मस्त शीशा मस्त जहाँ पिया जहाँ मस्त मस्त राधा मस्त जहाँ काली जहाँ मस्त मस्त शीशा मस्त जहाँ देखा जहाँ मस्त मस्त काली मस्त जहाँ देखा जहाँ मस्त जो साथी हर तरह पी जो मेरे काने पे जो साथी हर तरह पी जो मेरे काने पे हो बाबा थोड़ी सी हो बाबा थोड़ी सी हो बाबा थोड़ी सी ओ पिला देना बस मेरी जिंदगी प्यारे हो 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 बस मेरी जिंदगी
So we're going to have. I mentioned Rais is a percussionist extraordinaire. He is a master of many instruments, and we're going to see. Well, we've heard some of them, so we're going to do a short instrumental piece, and it's going to showcase his prowess with the khartal, which are the castanets, the bhabang, which is the Indian plucked drum, similar to the African talking drum, and the morchang, of which he's undoubtedly the best morchang player in the country, also known as the Jew's harp. And of course, Magda on the dholak, fine dholak player that is, will be accompanying him on this one. One other instrument I forgot to mention, which you cannot see here because he is the instrument He's also a beatboxer, so we're going to get some of that as well.
This is motion. This is instrument Khartal. Then Khartal जुगलबंदी आपकी ताली से और मेरी रिदम से जुगलबंदी होगी. मैं आपको प्रश्न पूछूंगा, फिर आप ताली से मेरे को उत्तर दीजिए प्लीज. And last instrument and the beatboxing little bit. you.
Okay, well, no bhappang, but you've heard that, so. Next number is called Bole to mitho lage, hase to bhalo lage. So, which translates to, if you smile, well, if you speak, it's sweet, but when you smile is when I'm in love. You know?
मारो कागज भीज गयो लवणे जलनी मावसे मारो हिवड़ो फूटे मरूं बाढ़ाने रूपेश पद महीना पीर भालो नाही लोया है हमें बोले तो मिठो लागे हंसे तो भलो लागे बोले तो मिठो लागे हंसे तो सुठो लागे मिठड़ू सुनी मजिया सावड़ी सूरत जेड़ो जनड़ो मारो सागरी सूरत जेड़ो जनड़ो मारो भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया हंसे तो मिठो लागे बोले तो प्यारो लागे हंसे तो सुठो लागे बोले तो प्यारो लागे भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया सावड़ी सूरत जेड़ो जनड़ो मारो सागरी सूरत जेड़ो जनड़ो मारो भेटड़ो सुनी मजिया अल्लाह आवाज रखे मोला आवाज रखे 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 अल्लाह आवाज रखे मोला आवाज रखी भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया सावड़ी सूरत जेड़ो जनड़ो मारो सागरी सूरत जेड़ो जनड़ो मारो भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया हंसे तो मिठो लागे बोले तो प्यारो लागे हंसे तो सुठो लागे बोले तो प्यारो लागे हंसे तो मिठो लागे बोले तो प्यारो लागे भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया मिठा जनीड़ा लायो हंसे जनीड़ा लायो मिठा जनीड़ा लायो हंसे जनीड़ा मिठा जनीड़ा लायो हंसे जनीड़ा लायो मिठा नीड़ा लायो हंसे जनीड़ा लायो भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया सागरी सूरत जेड़ो जनीड़ो मारो सागरी सूरत जेड़ो जनीड़ो मारो भेटड़ू सुनी मजिया हंसे तो मिठो लागे भोले तो प्यारो लागे हंसे तो सुठो लागे भोले तो प्यारो लागे हंसे तो मिठो बोले तो प्यारो लागे हंसे तो सुठो लागे बोले तो सूरत जेड़ो जनेड़ो मारो सागर सूरत जेड़ो जनेड़ो मारो हेठड़ो सुनी मजियान सावड़ी सूरत जेड़ो जनेड़ो मारो सावड़ी सूरत जेड़ो जनेड़ो मारो हेठड़ सुने मजियान हंसे तो मिठो लागे भोले तो भलो लागे हंसे तो मिठो लागे भोले प्यारो लागे हंसे तो सुठो भोले तो प्यारो लागे हेठड़ सुने मजियान हेठड़ सुने मजियान हेठड़ सुने मजियान हेठड़ सुने मजियान हेठड़ सुने मजियान
दमादर मस्त कलंदर उगा दो दमादम बस कलंदर
Well, we'll see if we have time, but the next number is called Hum Bhi Jaane, Mera Malik Hai Ek.
दिल की चोटों से चैन सेरे ने दिया दिल की चोटों से चैन सेरे ने दिया जब भी चली सर्दी हो मैंने याद किया इस बस्ती में कौन रे इस बस्ती में कौन रे हम भी जाने मेरा मालिक है हम भी जाने मेरा मालिक है जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए हम भी चाहे मेरा मालिक है हम भी चाहे मेरा मालिक है मेरा मालिक हम भी जाने मालिक जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए हम भी चाहे मेरा मालिक हम भी चाहे मेरा मालिक जो भी चाहे जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए उनके लिए बस्ती चाहे उनके लिए बस्ती चाहे जो भी तेरे मालिक है जो भी चाहे मालिक है हम भी चाहे मेरा मालिक है हम भी चाहे मालिक है हम भी चाहे मालिक है उन कांटे से दूर रही उन कांटे से उन कांटे से दूर रही उन कांटे से दूर रही उनके लिए मालिक उनके लिए मालिक जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए जो भी चाहे तेरे लिए हम भी चाहे मेरा मालिक है हम भी चाहे मालिक है हम भी चाहे मालिक है हम भी चाहे मेरा
Okay, we're coming towards the end of the program. I see Mr. Birwal walking this way, but but this is last number as per the schedule, and it's Pir Jalani. So this is a song which the Barmer Boys have become famous for in India. It's a song they did with Clinton Sereo on MTV Coke Studios season 3 last September. So it's give it up for the Barmer Boys. It's been a tremendous accomplishment for a folk group to come to the big screen. That's the TV in India on MTV. So Barmer Boys, Pir Jalani.
उस्तादन की हेठा नूर नबी विजली हाजी हज पढ़न ता ओ कमोल सिन जो ओ बिली पंजरो पाक रसूल जो दस्तगीर आए हम जो पीर जिलाने ओ दस्तगीर आए दस्तगीर आयो हम दीन जायो दस्तगीर आयो हम जो पीर जिलाने ओ दस्तगीर आए हम जो पीर जिलाने ओ दस्तगीर आए हम जो पीर जिलाने ओ दस्तगीर दस्तगीर आयो जैसे कि जैसे कि जैसे कि ओ
Yes, I'm just speechless. I don't have to say anything. No, actually, already we are beyond timeline, so I think we would like to wind up. Now, as a token of our appreciation, we would like to hand over bouquets to the artist and to our special guest. I would request Mr. Dharan to do the honor of giving the bouquets. Okay, then maybe I will. केसरिया बाल में आओ नी पधारो मारे केसरी या प्यारिया बाल में आओ नी So thanks once again. We will feel like going on and on, but against all our wishes, we have to close it finally. Now I request Mr. Dharan to hand over the bouquet. We would like to start with Professor Shalini Ayagiri. Can you please come? Next one is Mr. Ankur Malhotra. Then we have Magda Khan on Dholak. Then we have Rais Khan. And finally the leader, we have Mr. Mange Khan.
Quickly, a few words. The two boys who gave the bouquets, they're actually from Rajasthan. And come up, get up. They recently adopted USA as their motherland, and this is one of the rarest opportunity for them to connect base to their culture. So we are very glad that this is happening at the Indian Embassy. Okay, quickly some thanks. First, sincerely to all of you. This is one of the largest crowds we handled in the embassy. Such an enthusiastic, very nice and well-behaved crowd. And some resistance about dancing was there. Okay, then second most important person is Kerry Tribulakov, Director of Gandhi Center. Kerry, raise your hands. She's up there. Okay, Kerry is the one who connected to one of the important persons who made this event very special, and that is Shalini Ayagiri, Professor Shalini. Where else you will have an embassy where you are hosting a program where there is a professor who has researched with that group for 13 years? Right, this is one of the rarest things. Shalini, thank you very much for that. And sincere thanks to Ankur. We met in Cleveland last year, and it was a very casual conversation. We exchanged cards. I don't know, as a diplomat, I would have exchanged some 6-digit cards so far, right? So this is one of the cards which really worked, and within a year we are able to do this. And thanks to the excellent musicians, Mange Khan, Rais Khan, and Magda Khan. When they're fabulous, they were amazing. They were absolutely amazing. And before I forget, can I request all of you to join me to thank the team that made this possible. Chandra, come. Chandra. Stephen, where are you? Stephen, turn around. This is your time to turn around. Get up on stage. Nobody has seen you. Get up. Stephen, get up. Berwal, where is he? See, he's still working. Okay. This is the team that made this possible, and they are the ones who is making it possible. And have a good night, and thank you for coming.